am Kim Howerton, health coach and keto expert. Today we're going to talk about sweets. There are two camps in keto land. One says, don't eat anything sweet because it's going to keep your sweet cravings going and you have to starve them. You have to bury those sweet cravings so deep that you never experience them. And then other people say, why not include some sweet things if you can do so without any major problems? And it's a great discussion to have and to know about yourself, because there are people who, when they eat sweet things, their appetite is out of control. This may be you. You eat something sweet and suddenly you're ravenous all day long. Now, other people, they can eat a sweet thing and it just is a sweet thing they ate. It doesn't trigger bigger cravings. It isn't a problem. The problem is that the sweet things they used to eat are things with a lot of sugar in them. And we know that sugar is not good for us, especially in large quantities. On keto, you could choose to use certain types of sweeteners that are not gonna have the same negative repercussions to your blood sugar, to your insulin, and to your body that a full sugar sweetener would. And so it makes sense that there are two groups. The real difference is, what's the effect of that sweetener? Does it make them super cravey? Or do they feel really satiated? You have to know what type of person you are. Now, if you're the second type of person, the one who seems to be okay with some sweet flavors, well, then we just have to look at, how do we make a sweet dessert that has very minimal impact in terms of the repercussions? And what does that mean? You know what your goals are. Maybe your goal includes to lose body fat. You know, too heavy, high fat, high caloric desserts too often probably going to keep you from that goal. But some people who are keto are just maintaining their weight or are not doing it for any fat loss purposes, and those people might be great with more higher fat, frequent desserts. So it really depends on specifically what your goals are. Today I'm going to show you something I consider a very low impact keto treat. I'm gonna make a basic panna cotta. Now, the reality of panna cotta is it just means cooked cream in Italian, and you can use cream, you can use almond milk, you can use coconut milk, you can use macadamia nut milk. You just need a liquid. So all I'm gonna do is, I have my measured out almond milk in this pan. It's cold, you wanna start cold. And I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla, because we're just gonna make a vanilla panna cotta here. And I'm gonna add a little bit of stevia for sweetener. This is the stevia glyceride I like. I'm just gonna drop in maybe about 6 drops. So I'm just gonna stir this up. It's not gonna be hard, there's not much in there. Now, you can make all sorts of different flavored panna cottas. You can add berries, you can go crazy. And on my website, you'll find a ton of recipes for panna cotta, but they all share the same basic how-to, which is what I'm gonna show you now. The difference between them is just adding different flavor profiles. So this is basic vanilla. So I just added some sweetener and some vanilla to some almond milk, and I'm going to now take gelatin. Now, the ratio is 1 teaspoon of gelatin to 1 cup of liquid. That's it. So you can multiply from there depending on how much you want to make. Now, the traditional way to make panna cotta is not what I'm showing you. I'm showing you the way I do it because I find it so simple and it works every time. And I only have to make 1 bowl dirty. So traditionalists might want to look away, but this is how I do it. It works for me. So I have this bowl of almond milk, and I'm going to just take my gelatin. So this is gelatin from Great Lakes is the company. It's a grass-fed beef gelatin, very good for you. And I'm going to shake it over the surface of the liquid. So you don't want too narrow a pan. I'm just, as carefully as I can, gonna shake this over the surface to form, you don't want lumps really. You want to form kind of like a crust across the surface as finely as you can. And if you want more surface area, you could actually do this in a wider, even a wider pan. So there are a few lumps, but I'm just shaking that out across the surface. And then that will allow the gelatin to do something called bloom. It's absorbing a little bit of that cold liquid. And so I'm just gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes. So for the next stage, I'm gonna heat this. So I'm gonna go over to the stove. So I'm gonna turn this on a low heat. We do not want to boil this. We are slowly heating it. Now, traditional panna cottas, what they would do is they would heat the cream separately and then mix it into the bloom gelatin off the heat so you don't run the risk of overcooking that gelatin. But I'm doing this very carefully and very slowly, just bringing the temperature of that milk up to warm, like bath temperature warm. Like I could put my finger in here and I wouldn't feel like I was getting scalded warm. But what I'm gonna do is keep a close eye on it so it doesn't go too hot too fast. And I have my trusty whisk at the ready if I need to stir, but always be prepared to just lift it off the heat. That is a way to control temperature if it's getting too hot too fast. So now I'm just gonna strain this milk, just in case there's any loose gelatin floating around in there, and I wanna make sure that I get that out. I would normally do this in a larger measuring cup, but it has escaped me where that larger measuring cup is. So I just did that carefully into there. Now I could have put some fruit in this cup first if I wanted to put some berries in there. And there you have it. So these just chill. So I just let them come to room temperature. They're really not that warm right now. Then I move them into the fridge and in a couple of hours, they'll be done. Now it may just look like 2 glasses of milk, but I assure you, as they chill, that gelatin will act on the liquid and it will firm up. Gelatin is loose when it's hot, but firm when it's cold. So that makes this a perfect cold dessert. Each one of these 1 cup desserts is around 37 calories. So really low impact sweet thing you can have without breaking the macro bank. If you liked this video and you want more, make sure you're a subscriber. And if you want notifications about videos just like this, hit the bell.